Hi besties, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Valerie Adhiambo Oloj. Please subscribe, like, comment. Let's learn together because this is a learning platform where we get to educate each other about things because we cannot know everything. One human being cannot know everything. So today's topic, we're going to talk about menstruation. We're going to talk about period cramps, what is normal, what is not normal. We're going to talk about period hygiene, how to maintain hygiene, how to smell fresh, how to reduce, how to prevent, actually not reduce, how to prevent odor during menstruation. So please like, please subscribe, please comment, and let's educate one another. Thank you so much for stopping by. Anyway, so let's start with just the simple definition. Let's start by defining menstruation in simple terms. Menstruation can be defined as the process by which the endometrium, which is the walls of the uterus, the lining of the uterus, are shed through the vagina, because as in fertilization has not taken place. So that is on simple terms. I want to make it as simple as possible so that you can all grasp and understand this whole thing. So if you've done your things or not, and fertilization has not taken place in your body, the walls, the lining of the uterus, which is called the endometrium, tends to shed, and it sheds through the vagina. So it is the walls of the uterus, which is the endometrium, together with mucosal tissues, they all shed and they are discharged through the vagina. So that process, that is what is called menstruation. During this time, the woman can be, you need to take perfect care of yourself, because I mean, that is like blood. You have to take complete care of yourself. And I need to make this very clear: menstruation on its own is not disgusting. It is not disgusting. It's not supposed to be disgusting, because I usually see, like, you find a woman has gone to buy, like, let's say, has gone to buy sanitary towels, or is going to buy like tampons or panty liners, these sort of things, and you find her hiding them very far in her body or using a very thick bag. It is not, it is a normal biological process. It's a normal thing. You're not supposed to be shamed during, you're not supposed to be embarrassed. No one is supposed to shame you during menstruation. In fact, you should be proud because you're a normal woman. So kudos to all of you that are experiencing that right now as we speak, even though I know it can be very uncomfortable, it can be painful, it can be stressful, like it just limits you as a woman. But there's no reason for you to be, unhappy about the fact that you're experiencing your period, because bro, it could be worse. Because if you miss them, it's a whole nother stress, it's a whole nother story. So you don't have to be depressed just because you're on a period. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, let's just talk about the simplest thing, like cleanliness during your period. I'd like to say, like, things that I personally like to practice during my period. Usually, if you know your period, like if you can track your period, because they're usually irregular and they are regular periods. So if your period is regular, good for you. But sometimes I usually struggle with irregular period, so it's not easy for me to know. But there's still sometimes, your body will give you signs. You can get that you have like two small pimples or acne, or maybe you have mood swings, or sometimes it even comes as nausea. Sometimes you're just nauseated, sometimes you're in low spirits. So you can actually tell if your body is trying to tell you your period is around the corner, your mens is around the corner. So the first thing I would advise you, just try to shave, try to be smooth and clean during your menstruation, to promote cleanliness. It's because you're shedding blood through your vagina, you're shedding all sorts of things through your vagina. So you don't want it to be trapped and to be engrossed. Is it engrossed? Not engrossed. To be trapped, let me just use a simple term, to be trapped by hair, and you're so bushy down there, and you produce you're passing out all these sorts of things. You don't want that. So I would advise that you shave a little bit, just be clean, just be smooth, so that at least when it's coming out, when you're cleaning yourself or when you're taking a shower, you're completely clean. I hope you get the picture, because can you imagine you are producing, you're producing all these things that you're producing, you're still going to the washroom to pee, you still have this, there's a lot of things going on, and if they're trapped together with the sweatiness and the, like, the stuffiness of too much hair, it will not be pleasant. It will not be pleasant. Even it will be uncomfortable for you yourself. It's going to be itchy. It's going to be uncomfortable for you. So the first thing you should do is just try and shave. The second thing I would advise is, like, you could shower twice. It would be good, because if you shower in the morning, you wake up in the morning, you've taken a shower, you've worn a clean pad, or you've put on a clean tampon, whatever it is that works for you, and then you go through the day. Maybe you've gone to work, or maybe you've gone out, or maybe, or even if you've sat around the whole day. In the evening, you before you go to bed, it's good for you to take a shower again. Another important factor during your period is how you wipe. How you wipe is very, very, very important. Whether you're on your period or not, just how you wipe in general. I don't think that using just tissue alone is going to get the job done. I don't think it's going to get the job done. So I would recommend you use wipes at all times, whether you're on your period or not, because uh like, when you're on your period, you have, okay, maybe you've gone to the washroom, you've taken a piss, and you still have that, assuming you're using pads, you're not using tampons, but either way it's still almost the same thing, because they, even with tampons, there's usually like a teeny tiny leak from time to time. So you still need something wet. You can either wet the tissue a little bit, just wet it a little bit, or alternatively, the best thing you can use is wet wipes. When you go to the washroom, please make sure you use wet wipes to clean yourself very, very well, because, okay, when you use wet wipes, you're going to leave your vagina a bit wet, so you use tissue when you're done cleaning with wet wipes to dry it. Now, you don't use tissue only, because I don't see if it's enough. To be completely honest, I don't see it if it's enough. I feel like there's going to be trapped odor down there. If, let's say, for example, you've gone to work, you've spent the whole day outside, maybe you've gone to the washroom like 3, 4, or 5 times, because usually when you're on your period, you tend to use the restroom so many times, because sometimes period can be characterized by diarrhea or loose stool. That is a whole nother topic. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's a whole nother topic. But still, the people that understand will understand. Not everyone, but a few of us experience loose stool during our period. And during that time, you visit the washroom every other time. You can't tell me that using a tissue will be enough. Like, it's not going to be enough, because you've peed, you have blood, you've had that you lose stool, and you only use tissue. You'll still, there's going to be a certain, we do not want to stink. We do not want to stink. So let's use wet wipes. Wet wipes is the best. Let's use wet wipes. Okay. So now the other thing we're going to discuss is the the people that experience extreme period cramps. Period cramps can be extreme to other people, and it can be mild. And there are people that are God's chosen ones, God's favorite, that don't experience anything. They don't feel it. Even when it just surprises them that it has come. They didn't have any kinds of signs. So period cramps are normal. It could be normal, but if it is too much, like if it's too crippling, literally there are people that during their periods they cannot get out of bed. They cannot even stand up straight. They feel like the whole world is crumbling. uh Sometimes that could be a sign of endometriosis. I'm not saying all the time, because sometimes you could be experiencing extreme period cramps and there's nothing wrong with your body. But if you experience extreme and crippling period cramps, it's advisable for you to see your gyna, because it could be a sign of endometriosis, and that is something that could be controlled. So if you see your gyna, you could talk a little bit more about that, because I love our bodies. The body always communicates with you. If there's something wrong, if there's something that needs to be checked, your body is going to talk to you about it first. So if you experience extreme, like these crippling ones, you could see the gyna. And there's this one myth that I would like to debunk. This one thing that we used to be told as kids. Growing up, we used to be told that if you use medication to treat period cramps, it will make you infertile, or it will make you like you'll never have kids. Bro, there is no glorification of pain. If you're experiencing extreme pain, there's nothing wrong with taking a tablet or two to reduce the pain. So don't let someone tell you that you will be infertile. No, it's not biologically proven. So don't die and wallow in pain because someone has lied to you that if you take medication for period cramps, you're going to be infertile. No, don't do that. Don't do that. During if you're experiencing period cramps, you could lying on your back can ease the pain, because like it could ease the pain a little bit, not entirely, but it's better to lie on your back, flat on your back. You could put a hot water bottle on top of your stomach. It works for me. I'm speaking about things that work for me. It's not a myth, it's not something that I've had, but this one works for me. If I lie on my stomach and I put something hot on my tummy, it tends to ease the muscles of my abdominal muscles, and then the pain go reduces. It will not go away completely. I'll not lie that it will magically make the pain disappear, but it's going to make it manageable. It's going to reduce the pain. You could also take ibuprofen, or there are a few medications that could be prescribed to you that could help you a lot. Don't let someone lie to you that you're a woman, you should be able to take this. You should, as women, we are taught to glorify pain a lot, because you'll find someone that will shame you for taking medication during your period. You'll find someone that will shame you for not being able to like give birth the normal way because the pain is extreme, or maybe because you had some emergencies, and they will tell you you're not a woman because you did not experience the whole pain of labor. Like, we tend to glorify pain too much because this is something that has come from women. Usually it comes from women. A woman will tell you a real woman will experience this pain and deal with it. And no, let's not glorify pain. There's nothing good that comes out of pain. There's no reward that comes out of pain. Yeah. The other thing, you could try some mild exercises. You could, if you are able to, don't force yourself, because sometimes period cramps can be crippling, like I said. So if you're able to, you could try walking a little bit, or you could try jogging a little bit, just some mild exercises to stretch out your body. It tends to help. Like I said, I'm speaking about things that work for me, so you could try them. If it doesn't work for you, there are other things that you could try. But right now, I'm currently speaking about things that entirely work for me. The other thing that works for me is if I take hot water. Hot water usually helps me a lot. It helps me a lot. You could just drink. You boil a small cup or a mug of hot water, and then you drink. It usually works for me. Let me just leave it at that. It usually works for me. You could try this. If you have any other methods, you could comment down below. Let's help a sister out. If you have something that works out for you, maybe someone, I've not mentioned it because I don't know it, or maybe someone else needs it. Maybe the things that I've mentioned will not help someone. You could comment down below. Let us learn from each other. Let us help each other. Let us help each other. So now, let's talk about wearing a pad. uh Usually, period panties look something like this because they should be comfortable. You're shedding things from your body. So it's not time to slay, because it's not like you're going to show it to anyone. It's not time to slay. It's not time for, but you can slay if you want. But usually, period panties look something like this. Most of the time, it looks something like this. Something comfortable, something that in the back is covered, because it could be tricky. It could be tricky if you try something. It could be embarrassing. Let me just leave it at that. So this is a pad. This is how I wear your pad. You're going to remove this like this, and then this part goes here. It goes here, and then you put it there, and then it has wings. Pads that have wings are a little easier to work with compared with the ones that don't, but you depends on what you like, but I prefer the ones that have wings. And then this is it. So this is how it's supposed to be. So when you straighten it like this, when you put it now on the right way, if you could, when you wear it, it's going to be comfortable for you. It's going to be comfortable for you. But you know, different pads have different, as in they look, if you know your menstruation. So if you have a heavy flow, it's best to go for pads that are heavy. And then when you're removing them, when you want to dispose your pads, you're going to remove it like this, and then you'll want to wrap it up a little bit. You're going to, not a little bit, all the way. You will wrap it up all the way, because sis, no one wants to see what you are shedding. That is not our business, so we don't want you to show us what you're shedding. And then because you'll obviously want to change to another pad. So you have this paper that you removed your pad from. You're going to wrap it up inside. You're going to wrap it up very well. You see, when you wrap it up like this, no one knows your business. No one knows what happened. No one knows what is inside there. Because you know, sometimes I usually find that someone has just removed it. It is just like this, like someone has removed it like this, and you've disposed it in the bin, like, as in, get serious, babe, get real, get serious. You're supposed to dispose it off like this, like you wrap it up very well, because we do not need to see your business. And then when it's like this is what you throw. Do not flash this. This is not flashable. Do not flash it. Throw it in the bin. Please do not flash this. Do not flash this. Okay, so that is that. When we speak of wrong products, let's also remember the wipes that you're going to use. The one that I would recommend is this one. This one is actually very good because it's flushable, it's alcohol free, and it's pH balanced, and it's paraben free. I guess that is everything that you need, because also if you use very strong antibacterial wipes, remember that we discussed on our last video. If you've not checked it, you should go check it out. You have the right amount of the good bacteria down there. So when you use antibacterial wipes, it does not know what is the good and the bad. It will affect even the good bacteria. So if you use even the very strong antibacterial wipes, it will still affect your pH. So I think this one is very good because it's flushable, because you don't want to use wipes that are not flushable. And then now you have used the wipe, and then you're walking out of the bathroom with it, looking for somewhere to dispose it because it's not flushable. You can imagine the scenario. So you get my point. I think we've covered everything. No, one more thing that I would like to mention: how you wipe also. Always remember to wipe from front to back. Let's say this is your bum. So your vagina is here, your bum. You wipe from front to back. Don't do this. Do not, under any circumstance, do this. Wipe from front to back, because if you wipe from back to front, the kind of damage you're doing to your coochie, the kind of damage you're doing to your vagina is not. You don't need that. You need to wipe from front to back. Don't do the other way around. I'm trying to say it more than once, because I can't imagine the kind of damage that would do. I cannot even begin to talk about it. So you could keep yourself clean. Try to shower at least 2 times in a day. Try to use wipes, because tissue alone is not enough. If your period gives you excruciating pain is not supposed to come with period. If it's that much, please visit the doctor, because there could be something else going on and you ignore it. Do not let anyone shame you out of using pain medication during your period. There is nothing wrong with that. And I don't know. I'm mentioning. I don't believe I'm mentioning this, but in as much as you'd be surprised, it's still something that I need to mention. Don't have sex during your period, babe. Don't have sex during your period. You don't need to do that, because I know it is unbelievable to some of you, but you will be shocked the number of people that do have sex during their period. It's not advisable. As in, during that time, you don't need all that. if he cannot wait, just get rid of him. You don't need that kind of person in your life. So I think I've mentioned everything that I need to mention. If you have any other thing to mention, if you have any thought, any question, any comment, anything to add, please let's educate each other on this platform. Please drop a comment. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with your friends, with your besties. Let us learn from each other, and I've really enjoyed this video. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have. So I'll see you again on my next one. Thank you so much for stopping by. Love you. Bye. Mwah.